We should be designing boats for people and their sizes. You know, when I paddled K1s, there was men's boats and women's boats. When you look at rowing, there's men's boats and women's boats. When you look at skiing, there's men's skis and women's skis. I'm not going to wear the same size shoe as someone who's 5'5". You know, I got size 12 feet. I'm not going to try to fit my feet into a size 8 foot. You know, I mean, everything is built to size in every other sport. And in Outrigger, we haven't been. We've been kind of designing canoes for the designer's size because that's who's testing it. And we were always afraid, I think, to pigeonhole ourselves in one particular area. So we tried to hit the mass group, right? When I was paddling K1s, there was Eagle and Hawk. It was men's boat and women's boat. The Eagle was designed for someone basically over 170 pounds. The Hawk was designed for someone under 170 pounds. When I was racing K1s, I raced the Hawk, which at the time was considered the women's boat. And I was much faster in the Hawk than I was in the Eagle, and a lot more comfortable. And I would look at smaller people get on a canoe, and I would think they're on something that is way too big for them if they were under a certain weight. And the boat would sit way higher out of the water. The waterline would come in really close. Until now, I feel that we haven't addressed the lighter paddlers in the community. We've always had them on larger boats, even in 6-mans. So we came up with the Cantare, 18 foot 3 inches, really narrow hull, easy to carry, easy to move, easy to maneuver in the water. But the whole idea behind it was not to chase the waterline thing like we've done so much in the past. It was less wetted surface area equals less resistance. And what we found is anybody under basically 165, 170 pounds is loving this canoe because it gets up to speed quick, it holds a glide, it's maneuverable, it's easy, it's fast, it's fun. We're getting a lot of good feedback on the canoe. And when you sit on it, the waterline is optimal for that weight. You know, I was kind of looking for 125 to 155 weight range with this canoe, maybe 160. And that meant when someone that weight is on that canoe, the waterline is where we want it to be for optimal performance. You know, when you're in a bigger canoe for yourself, you're pushing more water, you're pushing wider water lines, you're pushing, your entry and your exit aren't what the canoe was designed for, right? When you're in a boat that's designed for you, it feels good. It's fast to the pickup, it carries for you, it doesn't purl because you're light. I mean, there's so many benefits of having a smaller boat when you're a smaller person. I watched people at the gorge this year carry their Cantares out of the water with the wind and not have as much trouble as they would have with a bigger boat. You know, I was carrying the Volare behind me because that boat fits for me, and I was looking at people not struggling in the wind. The Volare, on the other hand, anybody basically over 165, 170 that spends time on the Volare actually really likes the canoe. The Volare has a learning curve to it that's a little bit difficult. It takes 2, 3 to 6 weeks sometimes, depending on the person. It's a little slower up to speed in the bump. If you let the bump pick you up with the Volare and you get your timing right, you get carry, speed, and travel as well as maneuverability that you probably don't get in any other canoe right now. But it takes time to learn that canoe, right? So, you know, if I get someone on the Volare the first time and they paddle around, a lot of times they'll go by feel and they'll say to themselves, oh, this feels heavy to me, it doesn't feel fast, etc., etc. If I put them on the Volare for a week, usually they order one. If they're on the Volare for 2 months, they tell me how much they love it. So the learning curve is there, but it's also a high-end boat. It gives you higher end speed. It has flat water speed, which is really good. It has good surfing ability. It has maneuverability. People like Danny Ching will tell you this boat can corner and ride across bumps like I never could before. Right? And then you look at the Cantare, which is a little bit of a different animal. It is quick up to speed. It is instant gratification. It is quick on the bump. It's maneuverable. It's fast. Depending on the way you want to paddle, if you're in that range from 150 to 175, I think right now you have a really good choice of canoes. Because if you like to be patient in the water on your stroke, on your takeoff on the bump, and want a really long carry, and if you're kind of like me and you're a little bit lazy, I love the Volare. Because once I get on that bump, I can go anywhere I want. If I connect things, it's phenomenal. And the Cantare, I'm a little bit big for it. I mean, the bottom line here is different canoe sizes for different people is the natural way for the sport to go. Right? If you're under a certain weight, if you're under 165, the Cantare is a phenomenal boat for you. If you're a little bit heavier, you might want to get on the Volare. Cantare. If you're in a boat that's too big for you, it's kind of like it's like when you're a kid. You put your mom's shoes on or your dad's shoes on and you walk around the house.
Right.
It's not right for you. Right? It's fun to do, but it's not right. Everyone can Cantare. Anyone small can Cantare. Anyone big maybe cannot Cantare. If you cannot Cantare, you must Volare.